style of Mike Anderson really starting to come around in this third season. He's got the players, and he's got a lot of them. The depth, the talent, it's all coming together. We'll see how it translates into conference play very soon. A couple of tries for the Roadrunners, and the Hawks finally out of there with it. Clark finds Madden on the deep left wing. He weaves his way in, goes out, goes back in, and Kai Madden has 13.
Boy, great job keeping control. Had the three, passed it up.
Now we're picking up right where we left off.
Kept control of the basketball. Great job. I mean, Kai Madden again gets down there, plays stronger than you actually think, and the members of Gucci Road getting involved in the game tonight.
Go! You got to be ready. Is that your naming? Come from you? Is that an original?
I thought Coach Anderson did that a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Madden off with the three. Clark saves it in. The Gully. Gully from 17 rattles it home.
And if Mike Anderson can get 6-7 points out of Fred Gully every single game, if he can average that in conference play, Arkansas is going to be in fantastic shape to be able to make that push that we keep talking about into the NCAA tournament. You want to be, when you go into that SEC tournament, you don't want to have to win a game. You don't have to win 2 games to get in the tournament. You want to be one of those teams that's in. You're just trying to get a better seed at that.
Portis out of the post to Clark. And a nice shot on the mid-range jumper from Cody Clark. Here's Agassi, and he gets the bounce. This kid had a career high his last time out in a win over Cameron. He had 28 points in that one. Well, he may challenge that tonight. He's already got 20 here tonight. Look at the ball movement. And Bobby Portis, if he's open, can score it from just about anywhere on the court.
Boy, it does it comfortably, but you like the chemistry that you're seeing being built. This Arkansas basketball team, great job with the trap. But when the guy gets the basketball, he doesn't hurry, he doesn't fret, he doesn't get discombobulated. They know where each other is on the court at this point. They don't worry about stuff. They're comfortable with the basketball. They take care of it, and they find the open man. That happens through getting to play together quite a bit. Mike Anderson doing a good job with the rotations. You can see Cody Clark and Bobby Portis used to playing each other and building that chemistry. You can see Alandis Harris and Moses Kingsley building that chemistry because they're getting the most minutes together.
A reminder that signing day in the Rock, presented by First Security, is Thursday, February 6th at the Metroplex on Colonel Glenn in Little Rock. Join Coach Bielema and his staff for a personal introduction and breakdown of each signee. To purchase tickets or VIP tables, please visit lrrazorbackclub.com. All proceeds go to support the Little Rock Razorback Club and the Razorback Foundation. Signing Day in the Rock, presented by First Security. It's also sponsored by Edward Jones Investments, 103.7 The Buzz, and KATV Channel 7. I knew I had to get a couple of sevens in there. Well, for Bobby Portis, it's his 10th game in double figures and his 13th game out. Well, he just keeps getting better and better every time out.
And with the many different lineups that Mike Anderson has gone with this season, only one person to start at every single game for Arkansas, and that's the true freshman Bobby Portis. If you want to know what kind of player he is and how much Mike Anderson's counting on his development and counting on him being there down the stretch, to have not taken him out of that starting line. First of all, he deserves to be. He's one of the best players on the team. But to not even for a second remove him from that starting spot and to keep him there when he's done that with no one else speaks volumes about where Bobby Portis is at this point as a basketball player.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Pepsi, the official beverage of the Razorbacks. Pepsi, live for now. Roadrunners beat the press quickly down the floor after that timeout. The ball lost out off of the Razorbacks. I just got the feeling that this Agassi kid is going to give Conference USA opponents a little trouble this year. Gully challenges the inbound nicely. Williams comes down with it, and here's Agassi. Sims has his shot rejected.
Well, if you're Sims, you do that. That happens, and then you have that memory of why you just sit out there and shoot threes.
Inbound comes in to Kai-Bjorn Sherman, and he scores his first points of the night. Madden is open for three. And Sherman gets the miss. Sims off the curl. Gully got a hand on the rebound, and that was enough for Portis. Aji Thomas checks in. James Williams has a seat. Sherman does as well for UTSA. Portis steps in front, and we have liftoff. For Bobby Portis. 72-42, 30-point lead. Whistle, and that is going to be a foul away from the ball offensively on the screen set by McGregor, and that's going to be his fourth. Coach Brooks Thompson did not like that call.
And the big man, the true freshman out of Little Rock, Portis, can do everything. I mean, for his size, for the position he plays, he really can do everything. A lot of these freshmen around the country were hyped from the beginning, got a lot of talk. He's going to move into that discussion very, very quickly.
Gully pushed out of the lane, gets it short baseline. Portis up and in. Can't get it to go, but goes to the free throw line. Tyler Wood called for the personal. Portis' first free throw attempts of the night.
When Kiko Haidar gets a lot of credit for his hard work, being a humble player, the hard worker on this team, following him on that is Bobby Portis. I mean, asking for extra reps in practice, staying late, doing extra stuff, and doing it the right way. And I hate to keep hammering on the fact that he's a true freshman, but you just don't have true freshmen that come in this focused, this humble, and this talented all at the same time.
A foul on Cody Clark before the timeout. It'll be UTSA's ball, but it's been all Arkansas tonight. You're watching the Razorback Sports Network from IMG. A few more of the faces of our great crew that helped put together the Razorback Sports Network broadcasts over the years. And I got a feeling everybody in the truck and out here on the floor enjoying this one tonight. 73-42 Razorbacks. So how do you get that big of a lead? Well, one way is you have a plus 15 in turnover margin. Arkansas has forced 18 turnovers, and they have only coughed it up 3 times.
Well, it's hard to talk about all these people that have been the foundation and the folks behind the scenes and all the hard work that brought the state of Arkansas and beyond the Razorback Sports Network, specifically these basketball broadcasts over the years, without thinking about our late great friend Paul Eels, one of the finest individuals you will ever meet. And as much as people enjoyed him as a broadcaster, he was 10 times a better man, and hard to talk about the Razorback Sports Network without directly thinking about Paul Eels.
Long time voice of the Razorbacks, a colleague and very good friend. Cody Clark misses the 3. And the rebound comes down to Sherman. Razorbacks really staying with the intensity level they had in the first half here in the second half. Doesn't look to be much drop-off. We didn't see it last Saturday. We haven't seen it so far in the second half here. A good sign as they head towards conference play. Wild shot from Agassi, and the shot clock will expire.
What Arkansas with a plethora of turnovers tonight that Mike Anderson liked to see. We've had a 10-second call, we've had a 5-second violation, shot clock violation, clear steals, on-ball defender strips. Everything that you want to see, turnovers you want to force, Mike Anderson has seen out his team tonight and has to be pleased with that.
Baseline jumper is good from Cody Clark. Cody with 6 on the night. Coach A told us in the pregame show that the 37 pass deflections that the team recorded last Saturday against High Point was a all-time high for his basketball team. And a timeout is called. Coach Thompson didn't want to see that, but that's what he got. George Matthews,
I think
did he think it was a foul maybe? Or
a foul, but Brooks Thompson ripping the ball out of Matthews' hands. I wonder if we can chalk that up to another UTSA turnover. Wouldn't surprise me the way they've been giving it away tonight.
He is not happy. You can't blame him if you look at the score at the bottom of your screen. The Highland Dairy three-point play update, sponsored every year by Highland Dairy. Get a splash of fresh flavor with dairy products from Highland Dairy. Hawks with 6. They're averaging 7.3 made three-point buckets a game. And UTSA averaging just a hair over 5. They've already gotten their 5 tonight. Well, first of all, I love it that Coach Anderson keeps up with pass deflections, hands in passing lanes. A good hustle stat. 37 last week.
Well, it keys everything. You want your guys thinking about deflections instead of strips or getting in there, because that's when you get the fouls. But if you're mirroring the basketball with your hands, you're playing defense with your feet, but you mirror that basketball with your hands. You want your hands in the passing lanes, and not on the offensive player, not on the ball handler. You get more turnovers that way. And when you keep that stat, the players know you keep it, and you challenge certain players to get certain numbers on that stat, you get more turnovers. It's something Nolan Richardson started a long time ago. Mike Anderson obviously carrying that over.
Another strip, but a late whistle, and Haidar gets the foul. Michael Qualls taking the warm-up jacket off, and he's checking into the ball game now for the first time in the second half. And he'll replace Kai Madden. Moses Kingsley checks in, replacing Bobby Portis. Bell and Haidar, Kingsley, Harris, and Qualls. And this is your second 5 right now, Blake. There really is no first 5. It's wave 1 and wave 2.
Well, when you have depth like this, first of all, you're going to have a better team because practices are crisper. People are fighting for playing time. But when you have depth like this as well, when you get in games, you've got to keep the effort up. You've got to play hard, or you're coming out. You're going to lose playing time. You know that your effort has to be max every single time you go out on the court, because Mike Anderson will sit you back down immediately.
Haidar sent down for Kingsley, and around to Qualls for 3. In and out. Rebound comes down to Thomas. Haidar is going to be charged with another foul. He just couldn't get out of the way.
That's frustrating for Kiko. The first foul they called on a few possessions ago, obviously not a foul. That one you can see where they're coming from. You go for the strip, you get the bump. Good draw by the Roadrunner. Brooks Thompson out of timeouts. 13 minutes left in the game. I don't know that he would necessarily need them at this point, but wow.
There's Thomas leaning in, and the shot is blocked up top by Kingsley, but down below it's another foul on Kiko. 3 in about 2 minutes, a minute and a half.
Kiko's got that fade a little tighter tonight. I don't know if it's thrown him off a little bit or what, but look, this happens. I mean, he's a hustle guy. You're going to get a foul every now and then that maybe they should have called on you. They anticipate your hustle. But when you get 2 in a row, you can't go under and try and draw that charge. You've got to be a little more careful. You've got to pick your spots. That being said, Mike Anderson trusts Kiko Idarn. Leave him out there. He's not worried about it.
7 minutes into the second half. Qualls underneath. Kingsley can't get the tip in. Qualls again. Got to call that foul. Didn't think they were going to, but it goes on Sherman.
When you like the continued effort and activity out of the Razorbacks, good job around the glass. Can't finish Moses Kingsley there. And that's one thing that you respect out of his game. When he can't get the rebound, when he can't get 2 hands on it, few guys are skilled at redirecting the basketball. If he can't get it back towards the basket, he's good. And if he can't get 2 hands on it, he's good at tapping it to one of his teammates. Good job there, keeping it alive, giving Michael Qualls a chance to get it back and go to the free throw line.
And the sophomore from Shreveport gets both free throws. Offensive foul in the backcourt as Agassi used his arm to knock Bell down.
And shockingly, this took an extra second or 2 to call.
3 fouls on Agassi.
Frustrating, though. I mean, when you're having a night you're having, if you're UTSA, you're turning the ball over. If you're the point guard, please come help me. Come to the basketball. And other guys don't want it because then they get trapped. So they're running away. You got no help.
Bell for 3. And the rebound off backside to Agassi.
Eventually that frustration just bowls over. You just push him down. I kind of don't blame Agassi in that situation.
Well, they're working it into Sherman, and he traveled with the basketball, working on Kingsley. Making more of a conscious effort to get Sherman involved here in the second half. But it's another Roadrunner turnover. Bell feeds Kingsley. Now Kiko, after one dribble, too hard off glass. And there is a foul on the rebound. I think they make it.
But that was either incidental contact from Agassi or a veteran move on his part. It almost,
yeah,
that looked incidental.
It did. And it's number 4 on Devon Agassi. And he'll have to go to the bench. And they're a much different team with him out of the mix. Balls gets it into the middle of the paint. Short jumper, Kingsley. Seven for Moses Kingsley, and then another turnover right after that. Dominant performance by the Razorbacks in the non-conference finale. Back in a moment. You're watching Arkansas Razorback basketball. More of the good folks who bring you Razorback basketball behind the scenes in the truck.
The maestro,
And
Bob
there
Berry
is the guy who's always talking in our ear,
the curtain, the Wizard of Oz,
telling us what to do next. And we do it. Most of the time. Well, I do. I don't know about you.
He tells you what to do next. He begs me not to do other things next or again. It's an interesting relationship. We've been lucky to work with him.
Absolutely. Back to action with the Razorbacks cruising towards their 11th victory of the season, and Harris is tied up and fouled in the paint. The win streak would be 7. Overall, 23 at Bud Walton and 43 against non-conference opponents at home. Those are some pretty impressive streaks. A rare turnover, just the 4th of the night for the Razorbacks, gives it back to the UTSA Roadrunners. This team plays in the Conference USA. It's their third conference in 3 years. How about that? Once played in the Southland, 1 year in the WAC. And now here they are in Conference USA. I'll chat with one of the members of their team, the athletic department, sports informations department before the game. I asked him why that was. He said, well, the football team has kind of driven that. They're really trying to make a big go of it in football, as Sims does a nice job with his first 2 of the night, and a rare 2 for him. He shoots mostly threes. They haven't been playing football all that long, but they opened up with 56,000 to watch him play in Division I in Conference USA. Kingsley goes in and out. And from a basketball standpoint, this is a school that was in the NCAA tournament in 2011. That's a travel on Sherman. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Sonic. Have it both ways. Original and spicy jumbo popcorn chicken. Snack size is only $1.99 at Sonic. Harris the kick out to Haidar for 3.
Confident stroke from the 3 shooters at Arkansas tonight. You like seeing it. You got to have it going into conference play on the road at Texas A&M. You come back. You have Florida and Kentucky at home. If Arkansas can even halfway hold that home streak, I guess not even hold the home streak, but continue to play as strong at home as we have in the past, as we have this season. In that Florida, in that Kentucky game, have a chance to come out of that 3-game stretch sitting pretty as we continue in conference play.
Bell, too strong. Rebound lost out, belonging to Arkansas. Coach Anderson will send in Mardrakus Wade. Haidar checks out, gets a nice hand. Oh, that's incorrect. Kiko's going to stay in, and Bell's going to come out.
No claps for Bell, just for Kiko.
Williams, pump fake on the 3, out to Haidar. Don't take him out, but he's off with the 3, and the rebound comes down to Sims. Thomas is stripped by Wade, and Mardrakus called for his 3rd personal foul. Fans starting to grumble at the number of foul calls in the game, and there have been quite a few compared to our last couple of broadcasts where it really has been wide open. Much tighter tonight, and Thomas is at the free throw line. He's a 71% free throw shooter on the year. Roadrunners trying to hang in there in the second half. They were down 27 at the half, so they've mostly held serve here in the second half. Down 30. Harris has it taken away. The Roadrunners on a 2-on-2. And a blocking foul on Kiko Haidar. Kiko cannot get a break tonight. And Coach Anderson is going to draw a technical on top of it.
Well, that's one of those that can go either way, but the last block call was so close. When you go flying like that, there's obvious contact. Regardless of the call, you like seeing Mike Anderson. You like seeing the fire. Coming out, taking up for the senior guard. Questionable call. Wants his guys to fight to the end no matter the score. If you're down 82-53, you're up 82-53. I like coaches getting tight. I like it. If it's at the right time.
Right.
And I'll chalk this up as the right time.
Yeah. I didn't really see, other than maybe stepping out on the court during a dead ball.
Well, he came all the way out to half court.
Well, he did.
He came all the way out to half court. He earned that one.
He was mostly on the sidelines.
He earned that one. There's a coach's box, and I think he was closer to the other one than his own. And at that point, he earned it. He wanted it.
He wasn't checking in. Is that what you're saying?
And that's great.
Okay.
I like it. Go and jack it off now. I like it. Because let me tell you, there are a few people in this building more competitive than Mike Anderson. I mean, he would play pickup with us every now and then when I was here, and there's not a slapping us, fouling this guy more than him because he wants to get it. And you like seeing Kiko respond with that three.
Kiko says, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in the game with all these fouls being called, so I'm going to get my points. He's got 9. Qualls into the open floor. They're just not going to let him get his dunk.
Well, they're smart. That's what I would do. Cut him off. Don't go to the basket. Catch him in that wing. Don't even let him get there. The teams have adjusted to Michael Qualls. We saw some of the high point guys that got down there and rather, I don't want to use a bad word, but rather naively, I'll say that, parked under the basket, and then about 2 dunks later, they realized they need to get out of the layer, catch him about 10 feet earlier. The Roadrunners cutting him off and doing a good job of that.
Fred Gully checks in for Kiko Haidar. And Michael Qualls gets 1 of 2 with 8:40 to go. Clark knocked it away. But here comes Matthews. Dumps it off for Jones, but the shot is rejected. And Qualls to the other end. Can't get the layup. Bodies all over the place. The ball all over the place. It's up and down action. I haven't seen a whole lot of half-court offense lately.
Complete opposite of the scouting report, but I think Brooks Thompson, head coach, UTSA, frustrated as well, not getting what he wanted out of his guys.
Cody Clark buries another basket. 8 points for Clark. He's got 6 in the second half.
It was frustrating night from top to bottom. Brooks, his Roadrunners looking a lot more like Wile E. Coyote tonight, Scott.
McGregor draws the contact off of Cody Clark.
You waiting for a piano or a safe to drop on.
So I guess the Razorbacks are acme tonight. Laying it on the Roadrunners. Up big. You're watching the Razorback Sports Network from IMG. Razorbacks are rolling. 12 points away from another century mark tally. Time now for a Regions recap. Keep up with your money and earn rewards with Regions Life Green e-Access account. That's smart. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Arkansas not scoring at the clip they were in the first half. Maybe not as consistent, but I think the effort's still there. I think the focus is still there. Bobby Portis getting the steal, going coast to coast for the dunk. Cody Clark continues to shoot that short corner and 15-foot jump shot well. Kiko Haidar, you can't keep Kiko down. You just can't hold him down.
Edrico McGregor at the free throw line. That makes him 1 out of 3 from the line tonight. And it's back to a 30-point game. Gully looking for room. Baseline Qualls. 17-footer counted.
That puts him at 11 points. Another double-digit effort for Michael Qualls. The Hogs leading the SEC in scoring. Only team in the SEC to score over 70 every game this season. Almost got there at halftime.
Another foul. high up top. This one goes on Ja'Cory Williams as his second. Highland Dairy three-pointer update. Arkansas has dropped in 8 out of 23 efforts. UTSA 5 out of 16. Ardrakis Wade is off with his 3. There's Williams getting way up for the rebound, and he lost it out of bounds, though.
Well, hate to lose the ball, but continues to fly around the basket. And that's a part of his skill set that he doesn't possibly use quite as good as he could. He's a quick jumper. He's a good job, does a good job of slicing diagonally through the lane to get those rebounds. Dennis Rodman, a great example of that. Obviously not the same kind of player, but something that he can really bring to the table to get him on the court to make a difference, or get him on the court more to make a difference for Arkansas.
Razorbacks have topped the century mark twice this year. Their season high point total is 111, coming against Southeastern Louisiana.
This game feel like it's taken a while. Is it just me?
I think the foul tallies have something to do with that. 18 whistled on UTSA. The Hogs have been called for 22 personal fouls so far. Six and a half to go. Bad passes up the 3. Ja'Cory Williams. The turnaround is good. 4 for the sophomore from Birmingham.
And coming on strong. You like seeing it.
Aggressive on the boards and aggressive there offensively. Good position from McGregor. Can't get the shot to fall. Hogs running. Madden to the trailing Williams. Roadrunners out of there with it. Here's Matthews again. The kick out to Agassi, who's playing with 4 fouls. Three-pointer badly off from Matthews. Williams can't rein it in. And that's an offensive foul.
Fortunately for Fred Gully,
That's going to be it for Agassi.
fortunately for Gully, he was stationary for a solid 20 count before that was initiated. Great job drawing it, though. He saw Agassi out of control. Agassi's flown through the lane a few times like that. Other guys had an opportunity to step up. Fred Gully anticipates it, gets his body square, cements his feet strongly in the ground, and gets the foul.
You saw Agassi leaves the game with 20 points. That's 48 for him in the last 2 games. A spirited player, very aggressive, and was not intimidated tonight. Here's Madden. Good job of faking the 3, and he goes off glass for 2 more, adding to his point total. 15 for Rashad Madden tonight. Another loose ball. That's an unforced turnover there on UTSA.
When you look at Kai Madden's eyes, you see a different player than you saw the last 2 years. You see a more mature guy, a guy who's finally comfortable on the court. He's found his spot and found his rhythm with this Razorback basketball team. A lot of talk about those 9 guys on the team that got a 3-point GPA. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who they were, but I can tell you this. Kai Madden had a heck of a semester in the classroom as well. So to see him growing up on and off the court, great signs for Kai Madden, great sign for Mike Anderson and this team.
That's a 2 that's off the mark from Williams. Hawks can't get the long rebound. Razorback guards just wearing the perimeter out here. Now Thomas is left open, and a dunk follow from Enrico McGregor, getting the most of his minutes there. Gully out of the corner. Can't get the three down. Here's Williams. Rebound comes down to McGregor. UTSA doing a better job on the boards right now. They've actually out-rebounded the Hogs by 5 tonight, and a traveling call on Williams. We have reached our final media timeout of the night. Arkansas in charge in Fayetteville. You're watching Arkansas Razorback basketball. Action here in Fayetteville after the timeout, and Bobby Portis gets his 7th field goal of the night. He's still perfect. 7 out of 7. And it's 15 points for the Razorback freshman. As the Hogs close in on the century mark, under 3 minutes to go at Bud Walton Arena. Wood for 3. That's his first basket of the night. Portis again with great position, and he'll go to the line. It is time now for the Built Ford Tough Player of the Game, presented by Ford. The Ford F-150 is the official truck of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Visit your Arkansas Ford dealer or log on to MidSouthFord.com. Kai Madden, 15 points, 7 of 11 shooting, is our player of the game. Emmanuel Watkins checks in as Ja'Cory Williams heads to the sidelines.
Boy, Mike Anderson has a great problem right now going into conference play. He's got 10 to 11 guys that any of them could challenge for high quality minutes. That's 20, 25 minutes a game. When you have this, you just want to find who's got the hot hand. I think we'll see in Texas A&M you'll have that starting 5 in the next 5, and then at that point, who's playing well together, and that's who's going to get the minutes. And as conference play goes, you'll see him whittle down to who he trusts the most. But man, this time last year, if I told you we'd be sitting here in the last non-conference game, that the Hogs would break the century mark, and that Mike Anderson's one of his biggest problems would be having too many guys that can play and not have enough basketballs, I think you and I'd be very pleased, Scott.
100 or more for the 3rd time this year. A pretty no-look, but no finish. Wagner from the left wing. Portis with the follow.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast. Bobby Portis going up and jamming it back home. 8 rebounds, 17 points tonight. 9 rebounds, 17 points, close to another double-double.
Bobby Portis
continues.
That actually gives him 19 for the night. And that is a new career high. 18 was his previous. And now he's passing out of the post. Razorbacks into the corner with Wagner. Portis the rebound. Watkins spins and puts it in. Under a minute to go. It was all Arkansas from the start. It's impressive that Portis has 19 points, but I'm still impressed. 8 out of 8. And that gets him into the qualifying now, because the minimum in the Razorback record books for single game best field goal percentage is 8 field goal attempts. Guess how many times it's been done in Razorback history? Just 6. So this is only the 7th time a Razorback player has attempted at least 8 field goals and not missed.
I feel like I should yell and tell him not to shoot, or tell D. Wagner just to hold it and not take the shot. But more importantly, another 10-rebound game, and he didn't play that many minutes. I mean, an efficient effort from Bobby Portis today. An efficient, solid pre-conference run for the Razorbacks. Going into conference play, Mike Anderson has to be happy where this young Razorback team is right now.
That's 7 in a row overall. 23 straight at home. 43 straight at home against non-conference foes. The non-conference season could not have ended on a better note. The Razorbacks will start the SEC season with an 11-2 record, a solid RPI. Could the big dance be in their sights? It is time now for our AT&T Play of the Game, presented by AT&T. Proud to be the nation's fastest and most reliable 4G LTE network and the official telecommunications partner of Razorback Athletics. Bobby Portis 8 for 8 tonight. When you get these high percentage shots, that's one way to do it.
6'10", true freshman, in the passing lane, gets the tip, tracks it down, slams it home. Just a small part